Welcome to the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Unfiltered laughs, honest conversations, and everything in between.
This is your backstage pass to the best moments from Ryder and Lisa.
On demand.
Saw something very unique in the wild today. Haven't seen one in quite some time.
An Arby's?
And it brought me back. No, I see those a lot.
Yeah, there's actually a new one near our work, which is a miracle.
I see those a little too much. Any opportunity I get.
When you see a brand new Arby's opening up, you know nature's healing.
Yeah, that's true. No, it was a car. I saw a car that I haven't seen in...
PT Cruiser.
A decade. No, it wasn't a PT Cruiser. That's a good guess, though.
Punch buggy.
I know.
What are those ones that carry dead bodies? A hearse. It is so weird when you say see a hearse. Admit it.
No, it wasn't a hearse, and I don't think it's particularly that weird. Sorry.
Well, what's the answer?
Well, you bet you had one.
An Aerostar?
You had a van at some point?
Oh, our family was...
No, I thought you meant
huge
just
Aerostar.
you got a van.
Oh, okay, a Sunfire.
Yeah.
I never had a Sunfire. I was very jealous of girls that had them with the Hawaiian necklace in the rear view.
This was a hot red Pontiac Sunfire, just ripping.
Hawaiian necklace. That's. I couldn't think of the word.
A lay?
A lay.
Yeah. Speaking of lay, spent a lot of time in the back seats of Pontiac Sunfires.
No, you didn't.
In high school.
This reminds me of that scene.
No, I didn't, but it'd be cool if I did.
It'd be really cool if I did.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
Well, not me personally, but a guy I know. Him and her got it on. Woo-wee!
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. But you can imagine what it'd be like if they did, right? Huh?
I wonder with some of those vehicles, like Chevy Cavaliers and Pontiac Sunfires, they were everywhere. If you kept one in mint condition, if you could resell that sucker for a lot of money right now, because so many people have nostalgic connections to it, because it was 40% of high school girls' vehicles.
I don't know why it was so cool to have a two-door. When you're the person trying to get in the back seat, annoying. Even if you're sitting in the front seat, got to get out, move the seat up for them to get in, annoying. I'm all about four doors now.
Yeah.
I guess that shows how old I'm getting. Got bad knees.
I'm surprised you haven't made the full transition back to the Aerostar yet.
One day, though.
But yeah, I bet if you asked in 2000 if, hey, you just want a free vehicle, congratulations. Do you want a Pontiac Sunfire, which would have been valued brand new at about $22,000, or this $70,000 pimped out truck?
You think they would choose the Sunfire?
It felt like that was just what everybody needed.
There was always like one popular girl that had a Sunfire before anyone else, and it was always yellow.
I was going to say that, like turquoise. Saw a lot of those back in the day, too. This red one today looked like a high-end sports car, though.
Sick.
It was awesome to see.
We love a throwback. Yeah, whenever I see a PT Cruiser, I'm like, what?
Well, that's another vehicle that I feel like...
What did that fly out of? Like some sort of vault?
Everybody made fun of them for so long, but if you had one in mint condition right now...
People would be like, whoa!
You'd be an absolute stud.
I'm not going to lie. I sat in a PT Cruiser once. A guy that I went to high school with, his name was AJ. He borrowed his mom's car and he picked up a bunch of us. And to be perfectly honest, luxurious.
It was a pretty nice whip.
It was so nice inside. Yeah, hideous on the outside. Looks...
Well, they can double up as a hearse, too, which
there you
brought
go.
Up handy. We were talking about how I saw a Pontiac Sunfire in the wild today. Pretty good shape, too.
You know, every morning I wait for the Cybertruck to pass me that has the same, is just always on the same road as me around the same time. And I laughed really hard at this girl's TikTok video where she was like, show me your Cybertruck face. The face you make when you see a Cybertruck. And it was the same face I make.
It's kind of surprised.
It's like
a little bit disgusted.
You're just like, what is that?
Catches you off guard.
We all do it. Anyway, continue.
Oh, I was just full of joy when I saw that sucker, that
Yeah.
Pontiac Sunfire today. Theo hit us up with a text and said, all the girls that used to drive Sunfires, jeez. All the girls that used to drive Sunfires in my school were also the girls that would use 50 different colored pens to write their notes down.
True.
Which makes me think, where are you now, and do you still continue to write using all those colors?
And do you still use a fluffy journal? One that's got
Sure.
like fur on the outside of it.
Do you remember the people that used to take notes, though, like in class, and they would switch their pens constantly?
Oh, yeah.
They'd have like purple, then
Not me.
yellow, then green.
Every day I'd be asking people around me if they had an extra pen
and then you'd be stuck with the purple one, which didn't write as good.
or that lime green
Where
one.
you could barely see it.
Teachers hated that pen.
I remember a conversation I had once where somebody said that color coding their notes helped them with focus when they went back to study it. Because sometimes they'd like remember, oh, I wrote that down in purple.
Oh, wow. I remember somebody said once that if you put your notes underneath your pillow and sleep that night, you'll remember everything. Didn't study once, put it under my pillow, failed the test.
Yeah, that's because you hadn't read any of the notes that were under your pillow.
I thought it was some sort of witchcraft. I believed it.
No, it's supposed to be, I think, because every time you'd wake up, you'd remember the notes and you'd remember things that you read.
I just did it wrong.
You just raw dogged.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be great. I don't have to study at all. I'll just play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and pass my science test tomorrow. Failed. The struggle is real when you have thick thighs. Sometimes you chafe, and you don't know the chafing is coming until it's too late. So that was the case for me yesterday. I posted a video on my Instagram story of me slamming back my pre-workout, like taking a shot of the powder and then chasing it with water because I forgot a shaker cup. So I just had to get it done in some way. And then I had so much energy. So when I was on the treadmill, I was giving her.
Mm-hmm.
I could lift a car. And then after the workout, I was like, ooh, I'm feeling a little sore in between the thighs here. And I showered at the gym, but I don't know if I dried off properly and I put sweatpants on.
Oh, boy.
So then even walking back to my car, I'm like, ow. By the time I get home, huge red bumps like on my inner thighs, like super painful, like stinging pain. And I know a lot of people listening have never experienced that. And a lot of people listening have, and it's awful.
Those with a thigh gap, like the ones that were
Exactly.
most popular on Hot or Not back in the day.
Yeah, seriously.
The laser pointer show, that was a weird one. But yeah, I've chafed a few times, and it is surprisingly painful.
It stings.
Yeah.
And then you have to walk around for the rest of the day like a cowboy.
Yeah, I did see you.
Like you're wearing assless chaps or something. This is my theme song yesterday. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even take the trash out. I was like, I can't walk anymore. I have to lay on the couch with my legs apart and like heal. I needed to heal.
At one point, I saw the neighbors walk by, and you just looked at them and gave them the old gun and the wink and said, howdy. And then walked away with your legs spread.
Yeah.
So what do? Are you creaming up?
I had to cream up hard, like diaper rash cream.
I bet that's a good look.
No, because it's super thick. It looks like white paint. And sometimes you forget it's there. And then you change and it's all over your pants. Anyway, is this too much information?
Yeah,
Shout out to anyone else that chafes. I feel you. I get it. There's a story that's gone viral of a bunch of grandkids that were clearing out their grandma's house after she passed. And they discovered 200 salt and pepper shakers.
200.
Yeah, what a strange collection. I shared this on my Instagram story yesterday, and I was like, this could be you, Ryder. And then I took a picture of how many salt and pepper shakers you have. Too many.
It's probably 8.
Yes.
Something like that.
Anyway, I thought this was really interesting, especially if you didn't know that your grandparents were obsessed with something.
Mm-hmm. It's just every time you go that you're like, oh, they got a new salt and pepper shaker. Mm-hmm. And then the next time you go, they're like, oh, must have broke the last one.
And then you don't realize it till they pass that they have all of them in the storage room.
I bet people do find some interesting things in situations like that.
Yeah, totally. When you're helping to clear out a house.
You walk into the storage room and you're like, what?
What is this? You always hear about these stories of people that move into a house and then they discover thousands of dollars in the wall or something like that. Or Beanie Babies. Remember that story where they were renovating and they tore down a wall and there were hundreds of Beanie Babies in the wall.
It's such a strange
It's so
move.
weird. It's so weird.
And it's kind of smart if you kept the house because they'd be protected.
I'd love to ask our listeners if they know someone with a similar story, or maybe it happened to you
That you found something strange.
in a house.
Yeah, sure.
We're asking you about things that you found in maybe your new house. Maybe you were cleaning out your grandparents' house and you discovered something after they passed. Mm-hmm. Carly wrote in saying, my grandparents passed on the same day about 12 years ago when my aunt and uncles and parents and all of us were cleaning out their house. We had gotten a bunch of boxes of books to get ready to go to Goodwill. My sister wanted to flip through them because there were a lot of books that were in German and she was learning the language at the time. She was flipping through the books and she started finding money. Every couple of pages, then started finding more money throughout the books. And then we started going through the house and we found money sewn into their fur coats, stashed inside all of their mattresses. Everywhere. It was very stressful to go through all of the small spots in their house to find the cash that was stowed away. We ended up finding closer to $5,000 in cash.
No way.
In old small bills, old $2s and $1 bills as well.
Think of how often you'd wonder how many dollars you left.
Well, exactly.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
What areas did you forget?
You couldn't check everything. Or maybe they hadn't thought that, but now they are. Sorry if I gave you anxiety.
Yeah. Katie says my cousin found milk crates full of Pringle cans in her basement. And those Pringle cans were full of toonies and loonies after her husband passed away. Like $30,000 worth of loonies and toonies. He was exchanging bills for the change at the laundromat. And that's how he saved money. She had no idea it was down there till she cleaned out their basement.
I want to find $30,000.
I know, right?
What about you?
When my grandma passed from my dad's side, she's a little bit of a hoarder. And when they're cleaning out her basement, they found a couple desiccated, dried up birds. Nobody knows how the heck they got in her basement.
Yeah, I've heard of people hoarding things before, but dead birds isn't one of them.
No.
When we cleaned out my grandparents' place, my grandpa had passed, and I remember Mom saying, like, you guys can each grab one thing, kind of, just for helping, or I don't know.
What do you mean by one thing, like a box to take out of the house or something for you to keep forever to remember him?
Something for us to keep.
Got
Because
it.
we were going through, like, you know, his old wallet was there, those kinds of things. His hair supplies, I didn't go for that.
No, didn't need to.
I found an old belt, and I looked at it, and it was like...
Engraved?
Kind of, yeah. Like the leather had been pushed in with a decoration on it. And it was the zigzag guy and weed leaves, like marijuana leaves, all over it. And like nobody thought Grandpa had ever done that. We think that maybe he got the belt by accident,
Or for
not knowing
free.
what was on it.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, I still have that belt with the surprising weed leaves on it.
Okay, here's a text from Nicole. When my husband's grandma passed away in the summer last year, his mom was going through her jewelry. She had over $20,000 in real diamonds and gold. His mom had no idea most of what she had was even real. $20,000 worth of real diamonds and gold.
780-784-7107. More of this coming up if you've got a story of things you found while cleaning out somebody's house.
Also, raise your hand if when you pass, nobody's going to find nothing. I have nothing.
It's Play 107 with Ryder and Lisa. Thank you for checking out the show, man. We're getting some great texts and calls on this, talking about things that you discovered in a home. Maybe you were clearing out somebody's home after they passed.
Yeah, this after a viral story of some grandkids that discovered over 200 salt and pepper shakers in their grandma's house after she passed.
Or moving into
What?
a new home.
Yeah.
Like this text that we got. Moved into a home 6 years ago, went to turn the water shut-off valve to the outdoor taps, which was located in the ceiling space downstairs. While I was there, I discovered roughly 25 adult VHS tapes. We ended up selling the home to my best friend a year ago. I left them there for him to find.
Yes.
I keep mentioning to him, don't forget to shut off the outdoor taps, and gave him clear directions on the location. He has yet to mention anything.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe he is enjoying them and not letting anyone else know about them.
That's almost worse. Like you're waiting for the reaction and you're like, did you end up going and turning that off or on? Yeah, I did. Just silence. Oh, okay.
Think of how exciting it would be to find 25 VHS tapes and be like, what am I about to watch? Because it could just be silly home videos from somebody who owned the house before, but it would be kind of cool to see what the house used to look like.
Yeah. It'd be
old movies.
A little bit creepy.
Yeah.
Watch other people's home videos. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel like a creep there.
Well, you did.
Sorry.
You very much did.
Now, let's look at this from the other perspective. You as the homeowner, what are you leaving behind for when you pass?
Yeah, we got this text that says, I have all my toys in a lined box labeled adult toys, clearly labeled in case I die. And somebody goes through my things. I don't want them to stumble on all of them loose.
You want to look proud, like you're not ashamed of these things that you own.
But also give people fair warning. Okay, just throw this out.
Right now, we're asking you about stories where you found something in maybe the new house that you moved into. Maybe you were helping someone clear out a house and you discovered something. Nicole wrote in saying, we bought a house from a lady who had just gotten divorced. She told us she left us tools in the shed. They were her ex's. Turns out it was $9,000 worth of tools.
No kidding.
How amazing is that? She was probably so disinterested in his stuff. She was like, you just have it.
Yeah.
Now this one's a little bit eerie. Alex wrote in, we moved into our first home in May of 2020. It was built in 1990. Our last name is Short Reed. It's not a common name. In the fall, my husband was ripping out the old garage shelving. He was cutting the pieces down and he pulled them down to make them smaller to fit into our truck bed. He flipped one piece over to make sure there were no nails on the other side before he cut it off, and he found our last name written on it.
I've never heard of that last name before.
Me
so
neither.
they're right. It's not a very common name at all. If it would have just said Smith on the bottom,
That's weird.
But Short Reed,
Yeah. I've never heard that last name before. That's eerie to me. It's almost like you're in the right place at the right time. The universe is telling you something. I don't know. There's something weird about that.
You're supposed to be there, yeah.
Yeah.
5 simple words, $1,000. It's Ryder and Lisa's 1K wordplay. Brought to you by Out of Bounds Restaurant.
We are joined by Texter 107. First time getting through. Devo, who wants nothing but the $1,000 grand prize.
Yep.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, baby. Show me the money.
Everything else is a fail today.
It's true.
Here's how the game works. You're going to pick a teammate, either Lisa or myself, who will leave the room. We're then going to give you 5 words. Tell us the first word that comes to mind for each. We'll invite your teammate back in. They haven't heard any of round 1. They'll play the same game as you did. And for every answer that matches, it's $25. But if you get all 5, it's $1,000.
Devo, who's your teammate?
I'm going to go with Ryder. I tend to match with him the most.
Perfect. Bye, Ryder.
Goodbye and good luck.
Yep, we got this.
Oh, yeah, we got it, man. And you always have the best word, please.
Thank you.
Hold on. Sorry.
Wow, you interrupted a compliment Devo was giving me. Can you please leave?
Okay, I'm gone.
Bye, Ryder.
All right, Devo, starting that timer after the first word. Best of luck.
Okay, let's go.
What comes to your mind when I say lollipop?
Stuck.
Thunder.
Lightning.
Text.
Message.
Popcorn.
Movie.
Hike.
Hike?
Hike.
As in, height or hike?
Hike with a K. Hike.
Trail.
Good answers. Let's get Ryder back in the studio. You had 4 seconds left on the timer. Great job.
Ooh.
Woo-hoo! All right, your job's done.
Yeah.
Your job is
Here we go,
done.
man.
Show Devo the money. Hi, Ryder.
All right.
Let's get to it.
What comes to mind when I say thunder?
Lightning?
$25. Woohoo! Text.
Message.
50.
Yeah.
Woo! Popcorn.
I'm going to say movies.
Yes.
That's correct. $75. For $100,
Come on, baby. You got this.
lollipop.
Suck.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here we go, Devo. I had a good feeling about
You guys
today.
are vibing. I
Yeah,
am
man.
shook
Show
to
me
my
the money,
core.
baby.
I am shook to my core. For $1,000, what comes to mind when I say hike?
Hike. Hike.
That's correct. His eyes are closed. He's thinking hard. He wants to give away $1,000. We're all on the edge of our seat.
I'm sending you the vibes right now, man. I'm like sending them to you.
Yeah.
You got it.
What comes to mind when I say hike?
Oh, this is tricky.
I know.
I have like 3 answers. I'm gonna say walk.
Trail.
Oh, that was one of them.
Oh, man. So close.
That hurts.
Hike, trail, and mountain were my 3 words.
Man. Devo, you were such a great contestant. You won $100. Better luck next time, my friend.
I'm still happy with $100. It wasn't $1,000, but hey, it was so much fun playing. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Cheers, man.
Wow, what a
Yeah,
beauty. Cheers.
Time for Unsung Heroes Giving. Shout-outs to people, places, and things that don't always get the love and admiration that they deserve. Let me be your hero.
Shout out to people who are driving without wiping any of the snow off of their back window. You don't know this, but I'm giving you the finger.
Shout out to Drake, who is about to have the worst time ever. Kendrick Lamar performing his diss track at Super Bowl while losing a massive bet like every other sporting event ever.
Did he lose a massive bet?
He loses every time. If you want to win at gambling, just bet the opposite of what Drake does.
Shout out to feeling like a cute little wild bear by choosing blueberries as your snack today. But then you get that one blueberry in your handful that's absolutely terrible. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Or should I say pause?
Shout out to that weird stain you get while trying to wash all those other stains out.
You have to rewash the same shirt like 6 times. What is that stain anyway?
I don't know. It's like somebody spit on it with olive oil.
Speaking of spit, shout out to that one person who asks for a sip of your drink, and then you hear that plop of backwash. Congrats, you just earned yourself the entire drink, you manipulative, selfish jerk.
Shout out to Alphabet Soup. I had a can yesterday. I may just have a big vowel movement here pretty soon.
That's good. My last one, shout out to that one coworker that loves to email you about something you forgot to do, but decides to CC your boss as well. Interesting. I will remember this for the rest of my life and throw you under the bus so hard as many times as I can.
I know that person all too well. It's you. And shout out to people who still have their Christmas lights up, who should just pretend that they put them up because it's less than 11 months until Christmas.
True that. Just keep them. What did Gretchen Wilson say? I'm a redneck woman. I keep my Christmas lights up all year long.
No. You say that you just put them up now because Christmas is less than 11 months away.
Got it.
Yeah.
Love is Blind Season 8 is out on Valentine's Day, so what a great way to spend Valentine's Day this year. Watching people with lives that are just a little bit more messed up than yours. Little more out there. Love is Blind is a wild concept.
You know who I feel the most bad for through that whole process? If you don't know what Love is Blind is, Cole's Notes real quick. People get put in pods. They have no idea what they look like. They speed date. When you find a match, the only way you get to actually see what each other look like and continue your relationship is if you plan to get married and
You
propose.
have to propose.
So I feel really bad because during every season, they have a bunch of people that are like in the rooms, also in the pods, that might even get engaged and go to these different resorts and stuff with people, but they get no airtime.
Yeah, they're
So
nobodies to the audience.
they've committed to this experiment, and they are flat out not interesting enough, and their love story is not interesting enough for them to televise, even though they got engaged to somebody they've never seen before.
Or maybe it's not messy enough. They're too perfect. They're too sweet.
I feel like a lot of those shows need a few real love stories that work in order to give them hope.
I think from the first or second season, there's a couple that's still together.
Think of how many of them get proposed to. Like, there's probably 3 or 4 per season. And what were we going into? Season 8?
Season 8.
So just in the American Love is Blind, that's like 25 engagements probably at least.
I hate the part where they start living together and you start seeing how much they actually can't stand each other. It's so cringy to me. And then when they have to meet their friends and all their friends have to be on this TV show that they didn't sign up for. So they're super catty or rude.
They're trying to be dramatic because they've watched the other seasons.
Yeah.
I think if they actually want to do the experiment of Love is Blind, though, they need to put some really funny-looking people in there.
Ryder.
What? I'm serious. It seems like everybody in there right now is like a 7.5 to an 8.5.
That's true. So what do you want? Who do you want to be auditioning?
Throw me like Uncle Cleetus, who's got 4 thumbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really bad breath because he hasn't been to the dentist in 12 years.
And then we'll see if love is truly blind.
If love is truly, that's the only way to know.
Do you think this guy deserves a ticket? A man has been charged with speeding. He was going 130 miles per hour. And when he got pulled over, he claimed he was rushing to get home to see his cat.
Well, what was the speed limit?
I don't know.
Well, what if it was 130? Then he definitely didn't deserve a ticket.
Yeah, but he got the ticket, so clearly he was speeding. Don't be a brat.
I don't think anywhere has a speed limit of 130 miles per hour. That's over 200K an hour. So yeah, he was definitely speeding.
Plus, using your cat as an excuse doesn't really work considering how they can fend for themselves for like months.
True.
They don't need you.
If he was hustling home for his dog.
True.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Thanks for being a part of the Ryder and Lisa community. If you liked hanging out with us, don't forget to subscribe and share the laughs with your friends.